Yeah. I might say that the reason why I got green covers around them is that it's been established that when you're getting your plants going, that if you put covers around them, especially in cold, frosty conditions, the covers tend to provide a bit of protection, and you don't get that frost damage that you normally would if you just didn't have a cover around them. This is Hakea psilorrhyncha, one of these brutal, prickly ones that tends to grow very erect. When you see them in the Western Australia, north of Perth, growing in the sandy hill country, these things just tend to stand up erect 2 to 3 metres high, have masses of brilliant white flowers and large corky seed capsules, but they're not a plant that you plant near paths or something because the leaves are just stiff and they've got a very sharp monk row, and you just wouldn't want to impale yourself in them. Hakea corymbosa, some people call it the cauliflower hakea, and that's because when you see it, mature bushes of this, they can be great masses of heads of flowers, just look like a cauliflower. It's not a high plant, probably to a metre and a half. It's one of the Hakeas that grows in sandy soils, but can adapt to quite even clay loams without too much problem. Quite very hardy, drought tolerant, likes well-drained conditions, and again the leaves are stiff and they've got a sharp monk row, so again you don't want to put your hands too close to the leaves. Okay, this is Hakea epiglottis. It's endemic to Tasmania. This is only a plant that's about 2.5 years old, and you can see already it's got up to nearly 2 metres in height. It's an unusual Hakea in that the seed capsules are actually in an S shape, so the botanists call them Hakeas with esmoidal fruit. The other features about this Hakea epiglottis is one of a couple of Hakeas where the plants can have all male flowers or all female, or they can be unisex. And when you're out in the field looking at this one, you've got to look around because quite often you'll find plants that have got no seeds on them whatsoever, and you know that then they're the male plants. So if I get seeds starting to form, well then I know I've got one of the ones that's got both male and female flowers on it. Form of Hakea decurrens, and this one is called Hakea decurrens subspecies decurrens, and it's what I call the Pilliga Hakea because it comes from up in the Pilliga scrub in New South Wales around Coonabarabran and places like that. It usually grows in the forest. It's one of these plants that appreciates sapple shade, and of course in the summer the Pilliga area can be very hot. The other interesting feature about this plant is they've sent suckers up from the roots. This is Hakea verrucosa. It comes from the Ravensthorpe area in Western Australia where the soils are quite rocky and shaly. And there's quite a few clays around Jerramungup, and this Hakea seems to thrive in really harsh conditions, even on the sides of tailing heaps of gold mines and things like that. You'll find it growing. It's just a very, very, very tough Hakea. You can plant it in harsh soils and it will still survive very well.
Oh yeah, gosh, look at them. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a whole mass of seed there, so it didn't need much encouragement to produce. It has lovely wavy foliage.
Yeah. Undulata.
Lissocarpha from Western Australia. This and Hakea trifurcata are the two most common Hakeas you will find in Western Australia. Very adaptable plants. They grow in a whole range of soils, from sandy soils right through to fairly heavy clays. They'll grow out in the open, they'll grow in the forest. A very adaptable plant to soils and conditions of cover, etc. Lovely fine foliage, fairly prickly, but has lovely masses of flowers, which can be white, as this one is, but there are also a very lovely pink form of this. Again, it can be an upright plant, and sometimes you get some lovely spreading forms as well.